Uh-oh. The cops have found me. Hey everyone, I'm Kenji, and today we are going to be unboxing and reviewing the F7 Mini, which is the Falcon Eyes F7 Mini by Mivitar. Alright, so if you saw the little intro, that was actually using the F7 Mini. I cheated a bit in the unboxing because I wanted to make sure that the light was actually charged. So I gently opened the box and plugged it in, and so that way when I open it and I show you guys stuff, it actually has charge. So, but let's go ahead and forget about all of that and let's pretend none of that happened. Here is the Falcon Eyes F7 Mini. Now, let's go and take off the box. Something that I definitely really like is that this box seems very premium. Some other brands for their lights and stuff like that, and for their other various products like microphones and things like that, everything just seems kind of cheap. Whereas this thing, it's almost like opening up like an iPhone sort of box. Like, it's tight fitting, it's nice, like thick. I mean, like, it's just a box, I know, but it kind of speaks a little bit to quality when they can put a decent amount of quality into the box that the product comes in. Even this, like, I'm like, look at this over here. This over here is a nice piece of foam. I can't put it out because they actually, they can't pull it out because they actually like slightly glued it inside there, but it protects whatever's inside there with this little piece of foam inside the top of the box. Just another little nicety. All right, so what do we have here? We have the quality inspection over here. Hey, this one passed. Thank God they didn't send me one that did not. All right, and this is the, I guess, instruction manual or something. Okay, so this looks to be possibly the instruction manual. However, hardly any. Well, no, there is English inside here. Okay, but there's also another language inside here as well that I can't read. Now, right here on top is the actual light right here. So, just carefully pull it out. This little foam thing inside here, it's like squishy foam. It's not just like hard plastic. I kind of like that. It's kind of stupid that I like that, but I do. Hey, got a little screen protector on here, but let's get into this guy in just a second. Let's go ahead and see what else is inside this box, because like I said, what I wanted to do was I wanted to just pull the light out and make sure that it was charged for this review video. So let's pull out the rest. Oh, all right. Trash. And little case over here for the pocket light. It's interesting that they call it pocket light right over here, even though, well, I guess it, even though like everywhere else, like it says like the upside down. I'm dropping everything. The Falcon Eyes F7. So F7 Mini, should I say? The F7 is actually a different light. Slightly bigger, beefier cousin. All right, so now let's see what's inside this guy. I kind of like this little case. There's a little carabiner on the back, so you can hook it onto your backpack, which is kind of nice. So that means that it doesn't necessarily have to take up room inside of your bag. You just kind of hook it onto the side. So let's see what's inside here. As usual, they always have these stupid things inside here. All right. This over here. Now, when I bought this, they said that they actually, you know what? Before we go any further, I do want to say that I was actually sent this. I was sent this light to review and to unbox, and so that's what I'm doing right now. I actually didn't buy this with my own money, so I do want to make sure, full disclosure, right out there for you guys. But when I was looking at this on Amazon, they said that it came with this little cold shoe mount over here, which is kind of interesting because it has the dual arms on here. It feels pretty solid. It's made out of definitely all metal. But this can fit onto the cold shoe. It's cinched down pretty well, and then this over here will obviously fit into the light so that you can hold on to the light. So, and then you can change the direction of the light in whatever direction you want to go. So it's not bad, not bad. This guy here, this is the charging cable. I already had a USB-C cable when I was charging this, so I didn't actually pull this guy out. But pretty good, solid USB cable. Decent length too, looks to be about 3 feet. It's not bad because I think a lot of the ones I have are like 6 inches or something. But I got them specifically so I can charge the GoPro while I am recording it. Let's go ahead and put that guy over there. All right. And these are this is the soft diffuser. Silicone actually feels pretty thick, pretty high quality. It doesn't feel like it's gonna rip at all, so it definitely feels like it's definitely good quality. Get rid of the trash, and this over here is the grid. The grid, so that you can basically make the light a little bit more directional. It doesn't allow the light to spread out so much, which is good when you're trying to not light up your entire scene. You just want to light up just your subject. It's always very good to always have these little grids, and this grid feels really premium. It feels super thick rubber, definitely stretching things, and overall pretty good quality on both. You can kind of squish them both together so that they take up less room inside of your little camera bag, whether you're going to use this or whether you're going to put it inside your real camera bag. Like this won't take up a ton of room. Nothing else in this compartment here. Pull that out. And let's go ahead and go to this back compartment. Oh, there's nothing. Okay, there's nothing in this back compartment. Over here, I'm just trying to show this to the overhead camera too. So this back compartment, it's not very thick, but I assume that the back compartment, yeah, the back compartment fits the back or the light actually perfectly. And the front compartment, I think, is meant purely for the accessories, which is nice that they thought about the fact that, hey, why don't we have 2 separate compartments for the accessories and the light? Because if you put the light and the accessories all in one compartment, you might end up scratching up the light. You know, like let's say this little cold shoe adapter was right up against the light, you could end up scratching it and stuff like that, which is not what you want. So having 2 compartments, good move. I know it was an extra expense to create that second compartment, but they didn't cheap out. Not bad. I'm impressed with that. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about let me put this guy down, and let's put these guys away over here. So here's the light. This light feels relatively solid. I think the exterior is plastic. It doesn't feel like it's like metal or like aluminum, but it feels like it's a decent quality plastic. It feels pretty solid. Like it doesn't feel like most of this is air on the inside and there's only a tiny little circuit board and everything else is just a hollow shell. That's not what I'm feeling like when I pick this up. It has a little bit of weight, but not like a ton. So like if you put this on top of your camera, it's not like your entire camera is gonna be super top heavy or anything like that. It's probably like a good medium weight. It's not bad. I like it. First, let's talk about price. This thing comes in at $60, just under like $59.99 or something like that. But it's a good mid-range price. It's not super cheap, but it's also not like an extraordinarily expensive light either. Because I've gotten the super cheap lights, the ones that are like $19. Like I'm like a little newer one. It only has one color, just as brightness, and then on and off. And that's it. And I think I used it like twice and it just wasn't that usable. So I don't know. This comes in at 3 times that price, but this one is a little bit smaller and it feels like it actually might get more use. So it's not something you just get what you pay for, right? This is a 5-watt RGB LED light. So the RGB basically means the red, green, and blue means that you can change the color of this light to pretty much almost anything that you want. It's not just a white light that can change the color temperature from like a slightly like yellow tint up to a super blue tint, almost like daylight. Most other lights that only do white and basically allow you to adjust the color temperature, a lot of times those ones, they go somewhere around like 3600 Kelvin, and they go up to maybe 55 to maybe 65 Kelvin. And so that really gives you a good range if you want like a nice tungsten light, so you're down in like the 3000 range. But if you want to basically match daylight, or if you want to match like a strobe or something like that, like most strobes are around 5500 Kelvin. And so that gives you that ability to kind of switch between the two. This guy has a much wider range. This range goes all the way down to 2500 Kelvin and goes all the way up to 9000 Kelvin. And that is a phenomenal range that I really haven't seen on a lot of products. Mostly like the range of the color temperature is a lot more narrow. So it's actually pretty cool. And let's take a little look around this light. This light, as I said, it has a hard plastic exterior, feels really solid. It has a power button over here. Has a power button right here. And it also has a rocker switch right here. And this rocker switch is not only to go up and down, but it's also a button that you can press to select different things. Something that I worried about with this little light was that they said that there was an app that you can use in order to adjust the various settings on it. And I've seen a lot of companies fall into the trap where they create an app for a particular product, and the only way that you could do almost anything with the product is with that stupid app. And I hate that, because that means that whenever I want to do anything with it, I gotta pull up my stupid phone and I gotta fiddle with it, find the app, open it, make sure that it's connected up to whatever device that I'm trying to use, and actually get it to change whatever settings that I need. Like I have these like Philips light hue bulbs, and I sometimes do need to pull out my phone like in order to dim things or turn things up and down, but no matter what, they always work like a regular light bulb. You plug it into a lamp and you turn on the light switch and it just works like a regular bulb. That's how it should be. You shouldn't always have to use an app. So the cool thing is that with this rocker switch and it being a button, and also this power button I think also allows you to change different settings as well, it gives you the ability to do a lot of things with this light and change like a lot of settings without having to go to the app. Now I think you still do need to go to the app for a lot of different things, but not everything. The basic functions of it still work very well just with the rocker switch and pressing the rocker switch, as well as pressing the power button. Another thing so let's go around a little bit more. Another thing that I really like about this guy over here is that this has two magnets on it. And at first I was like, great, it has a magnet, so what? But then I was on a photo shoot and I use C-stands, and actually like a lot of other stands also like are made of some sort of like metal or stainless steel or something like some sort of ferrous metal that actually works well with magnets. And the things that I was working in a barn, and the barn was dark, and my camera had a little bit of troubles focusing because there was light coming in through the cracks in the barn, and my camera kept wanting to focus directly on those cracks and not focus on my subject, just because the barn was a little bit too dark. So it's one of these things where this little light with these magnets over here makes it so that I can basically stick this to my light stand, turn it on, and actually have it illuminate the subject enough that my camera can then pick up the subject and not always try to focus on the background. And if you're using strobes, like I use the Godox SP600s, those are powerful 600 watt second lights. And even though I have this light or any other LED light that I can use to illuminate my subject, just to help out the autofocus, that will not affect the final exposure, because the power of the strobe is going to be so high compared to an LED light that you will not notice it in the final pictures at all. It just basically makes your autofocusing like just helps out your camera autofocus so much better when it has a little bit more light to work with. And this sticks to my C-stand, and I could basically rotate it around, and it just works like a dream. It is perfect. All right. So the last thing I want to point out is that we got a USB-C port over here to charge it. I'm so glad that they went with the USB-C, because so many devices in the past have all just worked off of micro USB, and it's okay. But I hate the fact that there's only one way that you can put in a micro USB cable. It's very annoying. Even Apple has gotten the memo and has started putting USB-C ports on their later iPhones and later iPads. And like my GoPro uses USB-C. Almost everything does nowadays, and they were smart. They went with USB-C, not micro USB. So very happy about that, because now I can have one cable that can charge my iPhone, it can charge my iPad, it can charge my GoPro, and it can now charge this light too. And that's one cable that can be used for everything. I don't have to have like 5 different cables that I'm constantly bringing inside my camera bag. It's such a pain in the butt. So that's good. Let's go ahead and talk about the actual specs on this. This guy over here is just under 4 inches long. It's 3.9 inches. So it's a pretty small light, but it's pretty powerful too. It comes in at 0.44 pounds or 2 kilograms for the rest of the world that actually uses the metric system, which is a good choice. Someday the US will finally get the memo on that. I don't know when. As I told you before, that the color temperature goes from 2500 up to 9000 Kelvin. There's 36,000 different colors you can produce. I don't know why they always have to say the number of colors. Who cares? As long as you're pretty much close on the various RGB stuff, you're good to go. Whatever. There's 20 different scenes. The opening scene that I was using, the police lights, that's one of the scenes that you can basically use inside your videos and stuff like that. You can, like have someone inside of a car, and you can have this strobe going off in the background, and then you can film something of someone inside of the car and have it so that like you can film a scene where someone is pulled over by a police officer, and you can use this light in order to do that. The battery life on this guy, they say it's around 90 minutes. I do need to do a final test on that, but they basically say on a full charge at full power that this goes for 90 minutes, and it's pretty impressive. Like my old little like newer light that I spent $19 on, it took 4 AA batteries, and I don't know. I mean, like, in one respect, AA's are nice, because if you run out and you're in a pinch, you can just run over to a CVS or something like that and like get more AA's, go to a gas station. But at the same time, it's like you can charge this almost wherever you want to be. Like, you can get USB battery banks and then basically just charge this inside your backpack. I don't think we need to deal with AA's anymore. The lithium ion battery inside here is definitely going to serve you well, and serve you for a long time with tremendous brightness. Like, I can power it on right now, and like right now it is so I can change the different settings over here. So I can change the temperature over here. Okay, I'm gonna do this for the overhead camera. So this is 2500 over here. You know what? I'm gonna also change the intensity so it's a little bit brighter. There we go. Maybe a little less bright, so I'm not like totally blowing out the camera. Okay, so this is at 12%. So 2500, and then I can basically start to slowly crank this guy up. This is at 5500 right about here. And then you can go all the way up to 9000 over here. So it's pretty cool. I like that you can basically change all of this, and you can change the brightness on it over here without having to go to the app. Let's actually show the app really quick, because something that I want to do is I want to vibrate because someone just texted me. And let's go to pull up this app. So the cool thing is that once you pair this up, okay, so the cool thing is that you can basically change all these different values over here, and that is pretty awesome. No! Let's make it dimmer. There we go. So I can basically choose any color that I want, which is pretty awesome, that you can just change it around, and the response time is actually pretty amazing. I like that. You could also basically change different scenes over here. So this over here is lightning, and then there's lightning 2. This candle, which is kind of cool. So like it kind of like mimics like that candle scene over here. High beam, low beam, double flash. The strobes over here. Wow, that's bright. Breathing white, ambulance. That's kind of cool. Fire truck, police car. I mean, these like there's a lot of creative scenes that you can produce with this one little light. This guy over here just has the ability to has so many different things that you can use if you just want to do like a small video production. So, different shirt on. Turns out that my camera cut out on me after 30 minutes. I should have known that. And I lost the tail end of my video. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to do some testing anyway, and the good news is that I was able to run some additional tests on how long the battery lasts, and I can actually tell you the results of that test. So once again, these specs on this light are that the battery is supposed to last around 90 minutes on a full charge at full power. When I ran the test, it actually went for a full 110 minutes. So what I'm going to do is, in one of the corners over here, I am going to have a mini video of my test with the GoPro, where I have this on at full power with the clock, and you will see that it goes on for a very long time. I actually ran out of space on my card inside my GoPro, and my GoPro actually cut out about 3 minutes before this light actually cut out. So this went for a full 110 minutes, which is 20 minutes longer than they spec'd out, which is pretty amazing. So let's get back to what I was talking about. I'm going to pull up my app right now, and I'm going to turn on this light, and I'm going to turn down the intensity a little bit of it. So something that I was talking about is the thing that is really cool about this light is that you can actually match color temperature on the light using the app. So what I can do, I'm going to go ahead and turn off this light over here, and as you can see, this side of my face over here is very shadowy. So a lot of times what I like to do is I like to fill that in with a little bit of fill light. Now, if I were to, let's say, have this at a complete wrong temperature over here, then it's gonna have one side of my face from the main light over here is gonna be nice and white, and on this other side it's gonna be really, really orange. And that's not really that useful. So the cool thing is that this over here, along with the magnets over here, what I can do is, I'm gonna go ahead and show you. This is my microphone. So I can actually put this to I might actually put this on my microphone boom arm over here, kind of face it a little bit towards me. So it is now going to be adding a little bit of filler light. But right now that light is still the wrong temperature. So what I can do is I can now, over on the app, I can choose over here the picture, and it has a little eyedropper. So I'm going to go ahead and face that up towards my main light over here. I'm going to click that little eyedropper button right here, and it is going to use that color temperature. And you saw that it changed. It changed, so now the temperature on my main light and the temperature on my fill light are now matched. And that is a really, really cool feature that they have inside the app. I actually really like that a lot. So let's go ahead and talk about, I'm going to take this off. Yeah, let's go turn this guy back on. That's the right temperature. That's the right level. Okay, so conclusions. Let's go ahead and talk about what are all the things that I really like about the light, and anything that I don't like about the light. First of all, the good stuff. The good stuff is that I love these magnets. It was very, very smart to add these magnets. It can stick to my C-stand. It can stick to my microphone boom arm over here. It's a very smart design. This thing feels very solid. The battery life, as I just said, the battery life lasts a really long time. It lasts me 110 minutes, which is a lot longer than they spec'd out. Plus, if this is running low on battery, you can actually plug in a USB battery bank into the USB-C charger, and it will charge while it is on. So it isn't like you have to turn it off, have no light at all while this thing charges up. You can actually charge it while you're using it, which is a huge benefit right there. So even if you do run it out, it's not the end of the world. So that is also a really good feature, which I did test out. The app is very, very useful. Now, you don't need the app for the majority of the various features on the light, which is actually really cool. But you don't need it. You can just pull it out of your pocket and start using it, just using the buttons on the side, which is really, really good. I like that aspect of it. And the third thing is also it comes with the diffuser and the grid, which I find to be very useful. If you just want to soften the light a little bit, you can use the diffuser. Or if you want to have more of a directional light and not have as much spill, you can actually use that grid on it. So let's talk about the one small thing that I think they missed. When you basically have this thing on top of your camera using the little adapter, the problem is that when you want to have a smaller vlogging setup, you have this light, but now, since you are using the one cold shoe on top of your camera for this light, what do you do if you want to have an external microphone? Something like a small shotgun mic. Something that I would love to see Falcon Eyes, if you see this, please listen. Something that would actually make this really, really cool is if you possibly add to this side over here, because there's nothing on this side that I don't think is going to be interfering. On this blank side here, what you can do is you can basically add a cold shoe mount. Or you can basically take this small LCD display on the top and you can basically shift it over a little bit, and then you can add a cold shoe mount also on the top. So this way you can have a very small vlogging setup with this light, and then you can add your external shotgun microphone, and that would be amazing. That's pretty much the only thing that I can think of that I'm not the biggest fan of about this light over here. But to be honest, it's not a deal breaker at all. This is really kind of nitpicking, and I'm just wishing for the world here, because this is a really terrific light, and a lot of times when you are doing vlogs and stuff like that, a lot of times your camera is inside of some sort of camera cage, and those camera cages have a lot of flexibility with being able to add multiple cold shoe mounts, or adding some sort of nano rail on top or something like that, where you can add on multiple different accessories. So it's not a deal breaker at all. It's just if you want to have an ultra small setup with a light and a microphone, unfortunately you can't add the microphone to this light because there's no cold shoe on here. So that's pretty much the only downfall that I see, but to be honest, it's really not a big deal at all. So in conclusion, this is a $60 light. It is very capable, it is very powerful, it has a lot of flexibility that you can use with the app, or even without the app, you have a ton of different things you can do with just this light, so you don't always have to whip out your phone. And the whole entire thing about about the cold shoe mount not having one. It's not a deal breaker at all. It's not a big deal. This is only $60 light, and like, to be honest, I really wish I didn't spend that $19 on that other LED light that takes the 4 AA's and only has brightness and an on and off. This thing, sure, it's 3 times more expensive, but you get more than 3 times that value, in my opinion, just with all the different things you can do with it. So I would definitely say, if I were looking for a small LED light, I would pick this guy up in a second, because there's other lights that are out there that are twice as expensive, and like, I don't think you always need that. I think having one of these inside your bag is always going to be useful. So that's just my thoughts, and I would love to hear what you think of this light, if you actually have one, and the different sort of creative ways that you use it. I would love to hear that inside the comments. If you have questions and you want me to test out something, go ahead and throw it into the comments. I could definitely run a test and I can get back to you. I would love to do that. So if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Really helps out this channel. And until next time, take care.